Daniel here for Tabletop for One. Please join me at the table as I teach and play through Deliverance. And I thank you for joining me for this tutorial and solo playthrough of Deliverance. Deliverance is designed by Andrew Lowen and published by Lowen Games. This is a Kickstarter game that fulfilled late last year, and I was able to get a review copy of this game, and I wanted to provide a tutorial solo playthrough of the Skirmish mode for you today. Now in Deliverance, you are playing angels versus demons in a battle of good versus evil. And so in the solo mode of the Skirmish game, you'll be playing with one angel with an Intercessor as your helper, and then you'll be going up against demons in two different battles. You'll battle two sets of demons in the first battle, and then you'll battle one set of demons and the Prince Demon in the second battle. And so let's go into setup here. And so first you're going to need the darkness board. Now I'm going to place it sideways here to fit everything on the screen. Then you'll need the heavenly gates, and I'll place it down here. And then you're going to get one map tile per angel. Now, you only play with one angel, but you have the Intercessor who's not on the board, but it'll count as an angel for gameplay purposes here. So we'll have two map tiles. And so you can just arrange them however you will, flipping them over, and I'll set this first one here, and then this second one here. And then you'll take the relevant decks, shuffle them, and place them in their places. So we have the Darkness deck, which goes down here. We have the Battle deck, which goes in this slot here. We have the Prayer and then the Heavenly Treasure decks, and they go here. Next, you'll need an Experience Tracker, and you'll place that on the 0 spot. And then you're going to draw two demons from the Battle deck, one for each of these maps. So this first one will go for this map here, and the second one will go for the other one. So we draw a Sandman and a Cruel Archer. And on these cards, they're going to show you the symbols that tell you where you're going to place those demons, as well as where you're going to place a Saint token. And so that'll be the setup for this board here. And so these are the Saint tokens here. Now there's a dark side and a light side. The dark side is oppressed, the light side is protected. They start out in their oppressed side. And so the first one goes here, and then the other one goes way back here. Then you randomly choose the standees. They have initiative numbers on them, like 1 and 3 here and 1 and 2 here. And so you're going to place them. Now again, the Sandmen are going to go on this one here. And so we'll randomly place them in their two summoning spots there. And then the two Cruel Archers will go over here. Next, we're going to need an angel and the Intercessor. And I've chosen Gabriel because after all, I named one of my sons Gabriel after the angel. And we'll place them right here. Then you'll need the talent decks for both the Intercessor and the Angel. And so the talent decks are arranged by level. There's 5 level 1 cards, and then 5 level 2s and 5 level 3s. So you stack the level 1s here, the level 2s, and then the level 3s. And you'll do the same for Gabriel. And then you'll give your Angel 2 courage, as well as 2 action tokens, and you'll give 2 action tokens to the Intercessors. You can put action tokens on the demons as well to track their actions, or you could always flip them over when you're done with their actions or something like that. It's totally up to you. Then you can use the life dial, or you can add damage tokens to your board as you play. So I'm going to use the life dial, placing my life at 13. Then we also need the relevant demon boards for the 2 demons that were summoned. And so we have the Cruel Archer and the Sandman. And then we have the demon dice as well as the angel dice. And last but not least, we get to place our angel, and we can place it on any one of the tile spaces on the Heavenly Gate board. And so you choose one of those 9 spaces. I'm going to place the angel right here. And that's it for setup. Now the goal of the game is to make it through this first battle, defeating all 4 of these demons. And then after that battle, we'll stage for the final battle, where we will bring out new map tiles and a new set of demons and the Prince Demon. And if we defeat the Prince Demon, then we win the game. However, if at any point Gabriel loses all his health and has no means to resurrect himself, then he will lose the game. Now on the round, there's going to be 3 different phases. You have the darkness phase, the activity phase, then the level up phase. On the darkness phase, you're going to be drawing darkness cards into this darkness track, 1 for each angel that's in play, so 1 for your angel and then 1 for the Intercessor, and then 1 for each oppressed saint that's on the board, but you skip that for the first round, so the first round we just have these 2 cards. Now if at any point you need to draw darkness cards into this track here, but the track is full with 5 cards, you'll instead flip these cards over, which will cause them to be activated during the darkness activation phase. And so you'll flip over 1 for each card that you could not draw in place. And so the way you activate the darkness cards is you just look at the card. It's going to tell you if it has an activation. The lightning bolt means that it will activate during that activation phase. If there's only a lightning bolt, it'll be discarded after its activation, but any of these cards with the round double arrow, that's going to remain in the darkness track until you cast it down or it's removed otherwise. And so as an example of what this does, this one says angels standing adjacent to a saint or another angel are each dealt 1 damage. And so this would activate every darkness phase. These ones here don't have an activation, except they have a condition, and when that condition is met, then they're activated. So Graven Images here says prayer cards always require 1 action to use and may only be played during your turn. And so that's like a passive effect that automatically increases the prayer card's action cost. Whereas this one here says after an angel fails a test, that angel is dealt 3 damage, then destroy this card. And so when that condition is met, then you'll be dealt damage and that card will be removed. Then after all the darkness cards that have been activated that need to be activated, we move on to the activity phase. And the activity phase is taken up of you and the demons taking turns. You'll start with the first turn, and you can choose either Gabriel or the Intercessor to do the first turn. And then when the angel's turn come up again, you'll choose the other angel instead. So if you start with the Intercessor, then later on you'll be using Gabriel. Now, after you use your first turn with one of the angels, then it'll go to the first demon on the initiative track. We'll activate that demon. We'll go back to the angels, then back to the demons. And then if there are any extra demons there, we'll be activating all those, and then the round will end. Now, when you are activating your angels, you have a variety of actions that are shown on these boards here. The Intercessor has its own actions, and Gabriel has his. And so on the left of these actions, you'll see these hourglasses. Hourglasses with wings signify a free action. Hourglasses that don't have wings signify they cost an action, and you'll flip this over to indicate that you've used that action point. Now, skills that have both an hourglass with wings and one without means the first time you use that action in a round, it's free, then any subsequent use of that action will cost an action point. Whereas the field medic here always is a free action as far as action points are concerned. However, some of these actions cost courage. You have to spend courage to play them, and some of these give you courage when you use those actions. So for instance, stab here gives you a courage. It shows a +1 of the courage symbol here, and you would just add a courage when you use that action. Whereas field medic and shield discus cost 2 courage. Prayer gives you 1 courage. Now, when you choose an action, you're going to pay the action cost, pay the courage cost, or gain courage, and then do that action left to right, top to bottom completely as it is written. And so let's go over these actions for Gabriel. First, we have flight. Flight lets him move. And so it says here to move up to your green stat spaces. I'm just going to refer to these stats by their color except for the health here. But the green stat here shows a 3. So Gabriel can move up to 3 spaces with his flight. So once again, he can do a free flight every round. And so when he moves 3 spaces, he'll just move his miniature here. And like I said, it's up to 3 spaces, so you can move 1, 2, or 3. Now, when you're moving on the board here, you have to take into consideration there are some obstacles. These blue lights here with a red line in the middle of them, those are obstacles. You can't fire through them, attack through them, or anything like that. These are obstructing obstacles. And so in this case here, I could not go 1, 2, 3 like this through that wall. Instead, I would have to go around that wall like this. Now, when you're moving with an angel, you can move through angels and demons, but you can't end your movement within the same space as another unit. However, you can end your movement in the space with a saint. So do keep that in mind. Anytime that you end your movement adjacent to a saint or on top of a saint, you'll actually flip that over to its protected side. And it's vice versa for the demon. So anytime a demon moves adjacent to a saint, it'll flip it back over to its oppressed side. And so the next action for Gabriel is to stab. Now it says range 1 here. And so when you're considering range is always orthogonal, and it's always a path that is orthogonal, never diagonal. So in this case here, Gabriel could right now stab the Sandman that's in this space, dealing damage to it. Now with stab here, it says deal the blue stat amount of damage to target demon. If you have 0 shield, you'll gain 1 shield. Shield are these tokens here, and these tokens will help prevent damage the next time you take damage unless an effect says otherwise. Anytime you deal damage to a demon, you're going to take one of the damage tokens and place it on that demon's number on their card here. And so this is the number 1 Sandman here, so I would place a 1 damage marker there. And the health of each demon is shown in the upper right hand corner of their cards. So Sandmen have 8, whereas the archers have 7. And so at any point they take enough damage to match that value or greater, you'll have defeated that demon and you'll remove him from the board and gain experience. The experience is also shown in the upper right hand corner, but also on their card here. And so you gain that experience moving this tracker up 2 spaces in this case, because each of these give 2 experience each. Now, if some point you remove all demons of one type, you'll actually remove the card from the initiative track, as they will no longer activate. All right, so the next action for Gabriel is the Field Medic. It has a range of 3, because he can heal other angels, but in the solo mode, he'll be healing himself. And it heals with the orange stat, the sword stat here of 2. And so he can heal 2 damage or heal 1 damage and draw a prayer card. We'll talk about prayer cards momentarily. As a reminder, Field Medic takes 2 courage to spend, but it is a free action. Next up is the Shield Discus, which has a free action for its first activation, but then cost actions for any other activations, and it does take 2 courage each time he uses it. Now, he has a range of 3 with this. And so let's talk about shooting with a range of 3. So in this position here, the angel is on the other side of this wall, and this demon is over here, so that wall is obstructing. However, the angel can still hit him in this situation. See, what he does is he uses a range of 3, and you're going to count the shortest path to him. And so we go 1, 2, and then 3 like this. In other words, you're throwing that shield around the wall, kind of curving it around like Captain America, and hitting this demon and doing damage to it. Now, particularly with Shield Discus, it deals the green stat damage, so it would be 3 damage in this case, and then you test 7. And so when you test, you take your dice, you roll those dice, and you see if you beat the test. And you have to match that value or greater. And in this case here, we rolled a 7, and so I would have passed that test. And for Shield Discus, it adds 1 additional damage to that attack. Next up, we have Pray. Pray does cost an action. And so what you get to do is you get to draw a prayer card, then test 7, and on success, you get a choice of what you want to do. You can cast down a darkness card. So casting down a darkness card is taking any one of the face-up darkness cards that doesn't have a stronghold icon on them. The stronghold icons will be on the Prince darkness cards. And you can take it and discard it. And it could be face up or face down. It's your choice of which darkness card you want to get rid of. Or you can remove an affliction. We'll talk about afflictions momentarily. Or you can revive a defeated angel, but in this case here, you can't revive yourself with this action, so you'll never use it for that. All right, so let's talk about afflictions here. We have boons. Boons are good things, of course, and there's blessed, which heals you after you succeed a test. There's empower, which adds damage to your skills. Swift adds 1 space to your movement. And light is a space. It's a token that goes out on the board, and if you end your turn on that space, you heal 1 damage. Whereas there are afflictions like shadow, which is the opposite of light, and so if you end your turn on that space, you'll be dealt 1 damage. Wither basically poisons you, so at the end of your turn, you're going to be dealt 1 damage. Cursed deals damage to you when you fail a test, and then Root reduces your next movement to 0, and then you'll discard that Root after that. Now, normally boons and afflictions will stay on you until you remove them by effects or other means, or at the end of a battle. But one thing to note is that the boons and afflictions can't stack, unless, of course, a card says otherwise. All right, so let's talk about prayer cards. Prayer cards are really cool. I love the prayer cards. These are great. So you can earn prayer cards by using certain abilities and stuff. And so these are extra actions, extra abilities. Sometimes they're interrupts that you can use on any part of a turn. So yeah, these are pretty awesome. This one here is a free action. So you can play on your turn as a free action. And it says target angel may move up to 2 spaces. Then that angel gets swift and bless. And so that's really good. And this one here is just an action. And it says play on your turn as an action. So it costs an action point. So do keep that in mind. But it says each angel gains 2 courage. And so yeah, you'll gain these and you'll keep them in an inventory. Now I do want to talk about Gaining these, as well as treasures, shields, and courage, each of those things you can only have 5 max of each of those. So do bear that in mind. All right, so let's talk about the Intercessor here. The Intercessor gets a free action every round. You can only use this once, but it's a consecrate. And so it grants your angel 1 shield or 1 courage. So you just give your angel 1 of those, you choose. And then you have your choice of actions here. Now there's Exhort, which can only be done once per round, but you get to use one of your angel skills. Just bear in mind you had to pay the courage cost if the angel has enough courage to do that skill. Then there's Encourage, where you get to move a target saint. And so, again, the saints are these tokens here. And so you can move it 1 space and then draw a prayer card. And you can do that both actions if you'd like. And then there's Intercede, which is similar to Pray without gaining a prayer card. You just test 7 on success, cast down a darkness card, or remove an affliction. All right, so that's pretty much it for the Angel's actions. You may gain other actions through talents. We'll talk about talents in a little while. But you may gain other actions that way or through prayer cards. But let's move on to the Demon's actions. So when Demons activate, you're first going to do the Lightning Bolt action that's shown on their card. And so with the Sandmen here, they have Restless, and it says move with an infinity symbol. And so what that's telling you is it moves as many spaces as it needs to do the action that it's doing. And so this one says each Sandman moves adjacent to the nearest saint. So in this case here, if they activated, they would move adjacent to this saint here, taking the shortest distance to move to that saint and then going adjacent to it, and of course flipping it to its oppressed side if it had been on its other side, the protected side. And then you're going to do an action. Now, most of the minions are going to have just 1 action, but the Prince Demon has 2 actions. And so when you do an action, you just take 1 of the dice, you roll, and then for each of those minions, you're going to activate them 1 at a time, starting with the lowest number and working your way up. And you're going to activate the ability that matches with that die. So they have 3 different abilities. The first ability matches up with a 1 or a 2, then a 3 or a 4, and then a 5 or a 6. In this case here, with a 6, it says Nightmare. Reveal cards from the Darkness deck until a card with a lightning bolt is revealed. That card activates and then is discarded with other revealed cards. It doesn't enter play on the Darkness board. Now, again, you're going to activate this for each of those demons in that group. And so in this case here, it would activate twice. I'd end up having to activate 2 darkness cards with lightning symbols. That would probably be detrimental. I'm not going to go over all their abilities. You'll see them in play as we go. All right, so after everyone's acted, you go into the level up phase and you see if you can level up. Now in the solo mode, as signified right here, you need at least 3 experience to level up. And so when you level up, let's say I had 4 experience, then you would spend 3 experience to level up, and so you move this down to 1, and then you have your choice. You can either draw a talent or you can draw a heavenly treasure. And so when you draw a talent, you're going to draw the lowest level of talents that is still face down. And so in this case here, we would end up drawing a level 1, and you'll draw 2 cards and choose one of those to become your talent. You'll do the same for the Intercessor. The Intercessor always gets talents and only levels up 3 times. So it'll get 1 of each talent before it fully maxes its level. The other option is to take Heavenly Treasure. And so when you take Heavenly Treasure, you draw 2 and you're going to choose one of these. And so in this case here, we have the Crown of Rejoicing, and then we have the Seals of Light. And so on the bottom of the Heavenly Treasure, it'll have stats. What this does is when you equip it, it boosts those stats. So in this case here, I would gain 1 more sword, so then I would have 3 swords. This one would also increase my maximum health, and so when you increase maximum health, you also heal as many as you increase. So in this case here, it would be 1, so I would heal 1 moving on up. Now on some of these cards, they'll have an interrupt that you can use, or a free action, or something like that, or even an activation when you gain it. So like the gloves here, says when you first gain this item, add light to your space. And the Crown of Rejoicing here says use once, add or subtract 7 from a test, and place a time token on this, or an action token on this, to indicate that it's been used. And so you can carry up to 5 items, and it doesn't matter what slot they're in. You know, you can have 5 helms if you want. The angels are just special in that way. Now, if at any point all the demons on the board are killed, you'll immediately end the battle there and move on to staging the new battle. And any leftover action points can be spent for healing, casting down darkness cards, and other things. So you do want to keep that in mind at the end of the first battle. You want to have a few actions left over, that way you can spend them. As far as staging for the final battle, I will not give those instructions right now. I will give them later. So if you need those instructions, I will have a chapter head for that. All right, and so we are ready to start the game. And so again, the angels are going to go first, and I just need to choose which one I want to do. And I think what I'll do is I'll just start off with Gabriel. And so we're going to use his flight. Again, the first time I use flight in a round, it's free. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 spaces here. And then I'm going to use stab. And stab is going to give me a courage for using it. It's going to cost me an action. I will do 1 damage to this demon here automatically. Unless, of course, that demon had shield, but it didn't. And then I myself will gain a shield because I have 0 shield according to the stab skill here. And then next up, I'm going to use Shield Discus. This is also a free action for the first time. It does cost me 2 courage though. And so I will automatically do 3 damage to that demon, but I get to test 7 to see if I get to do an extra damage. So we'll see. And that's an 8. Very good. And so we'll just flip this over to 5 because I just did 4 more damage. Now I have 1 action remaining, and I think I will do prayer. So once again, prayer is going to be drawing a prayer card. Now it did cost me this action, and I gain a courage out of that. And so here's my prayer card. It says target angel gains 2 shield. And I can play anytime. It's an interrupt. And so I can use this off my turn if I want to. And so I'm just going to keep this aside for now. But yeah, that sounds really good. And then I get to test 7. So we're going to test 7. And I roll a 3, so I fail that test, and I don't get any bonus for that. All right, so my turn's done now. When now we look on the initiative track, and it's the Sandmen. They're going to go now. And so the first thing that they do is they move adjacent to the nearest saint. And so this one will move here, whereas this one will go 1, 2, 3 right here. That saint is already pressed, so the token doesn't get flipped over. Then we're going to roll for their action here, and let's see. It's a 3. All right, so they're going to use Sleepwalker. The Sandman moves adjacent to the demon with the lowest health. That demon moves 3 spaces towards the nearest angel and deals 2 damage if it is adjacent. If the target demon is a Sandman, however, this demon uses its time freeze skill instead. And so we start off with this one here. And so the demon with the lowest health other than him is going to be one of these 2 demons here. And so the nearest one will be this one. And so this one will move 1, 2 spaces into here. And it's not adjacent, so it doesn't attack. Next up, we have this Sandman. And now this is the lowest health demon for the Sandman to target, but it is a Sandman. And so instead, it's going to do the time freeze. And the time freeze has a range of 1, but move infinity. And it says Sandman engages the angel with the highest health and deals 3 damage. So it's going to move here and then deal 3 damage automatically to me. I will block 1 damage with my shield, and then I'll take 2 more damage here. And so that's going to be it for the Sandmen. Now we go on to the Intercessor's turn. And so the Intercessor, the first thing we're going to do is Consecrate. And this is a free action, so I can gain 1 shield or 1 courage, and I'm going to gain a shield. And so next I will use Encourage. Encourage will cost an action and lets me move a target saint 1 space. So I'll move this one 1 space. And then let's see, I get to draw a prayer card. So let's see what I get here. And so we have Backslidden. This is an action that I can use anytime. And I can deal 1 damage to each demon. Then I may move each demon 1 space. Ooh, that's kind of nice. So we'll keep this here. And then for my second action, I'm going to do the same thing. So we're going to move the saint. And then we're going to draw another prayer card. And so now we have Walking in Faith. This is an interrupt as well. Revive a defeated angel. That angel gains 1 shield. Oh, that's nice because this is actually the only way that I can revive myself. Because I can use this even though I've died. And so yeah, this will be really good. All right, so that finishes the Intercessor's turn. Now we go on to the Cruel Archers. And so the Cruel Archer's first action, the Lightning Bolt action, is a range of 4. Each Cruel Archer deals 1 damage to the nearest angel in range, and it can't be prevented by shield. So this one's too far away, but this one here is going to deal 1 damage to the angel, bringing me down to 10 health now. And then we're going to roll for their action here, and we have a 4. So Volley. So it's a range of 4 and move 2. And so we're going to do that for each of those archers. And the Cruel Archer engages the nearest angel, deals 2 damage. Other angels within range of the target are dealt 1 damage. Now this one here, this is the number 1. So it's going to try and move in range to do that. It's going to go 1, 2, and that's as far as it can move. It is not in range. It's more than 4 spaces away, so it cannot attack the angel. However, this one's already in range, so it's not going to move at all. It's already in range, so it's going to attack right away, and it's going to deal 2 more damage to the angel. This is not good. I'm like halfway dead already. Although I guess I do get to block one of those damages from the shield here. All right, so that ends the round. We go on to the level up phase. I have not earned any experience, so I can't level up. There's still demons on the field, and so we're going to move on to the next round. All right, so with the new round, we go into the darkness phase. And so for the darkness phase, we're drawing 2 cards for the 2 angels, and then we're going to have to draw a card each for the oppressed saints there. And so that brings us to 5. I still need to draw 1 more card, so that means we have to flip over the first card here. And so this card here has an ongoing effect that says, when an angel tests, reduce the result by 1. All right, that's not horrible. I mean, I don't exactly want that, but it's not horrible. All right, so we're ready for my turn here. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to use stab against this demon here. And so that'll cost me an action. I will gain a courage for that, and then I will deal 1 damage to it automatically, and that will also grant me 1 shield. Then I'll use my free action to move next to the saint here, and that will flip that saint over to the protected side. And then I'm going to use shield discus to hit the Sandman over here. The Sandman only has 3 health remaining, and my shield discus automatically does 3 damage, so that's really good. So we're going to spend our 2 courage here, and then we're going to test that to see if we deal more damage. But yeah, we're not gonna we're not gonna deal more damage. Either way, it kills off that enemy, and so that enemy gets removed, and then we gain 2 experience for that. I still have 1 action remaining, and I think what I should do is I should do field medic. Oh, I don't have enough courage for that. Oh, that's too bad. Maybe what I should do is use some of my cards here. I think I'm gonna use backslidden here. And so backslidden, it deals 1 damage to each demon, then I may move each demon 1 space. And so that's really good. So 1 to each of these here. And then I'll move this one back 1 space. I guess this one back 1 space, and this one isn't really going to go anywhere. I guess right here. All right, then I'm going to use my prayer. So that's going to cost me an action, but I will gain a courage. And then I get to draw a prayer card. This battle song. Now this takes an action. Deal 2 damage to each demon on the battlefield, then test 8 on success. Add 1 additional damage to each demon. That's actually really good. It does cost an action. I can use it on my Intercessor's turn as well, so that's really nice. And then we're going to test, and we'll see. And I rolled a 9. Now I had to reduce that by 1, but it's still above a 7. And so we're going to get to cast down a darkness card, remove an affliction. And I don't have any afflictions, so we'll cast down a darkness card. And I guess we'll cast down this one since it's face up. I could have cast down one of these others because maybe those are worse than that one. So we move on to the Sandmen. Now there's only 1 Sandman left right here. And so it's going to move adjacent to the nearest saint. So it's going to go in the shortest path possible right there. And then we'll flip that over. Now it's oppressed again. And then we're going to roll 1 of the demon dice. And let's see, it's a 4. And so it's going to do the Sleepwalker again. All right, so it moves adjacent to the demon with the lowest health. That demon moves 3 spaces towards an angel and deals 2 damage if it's adjacent. And so he's going to move over here. These both have the same health. This one's the closest, so it's going to go 1, 2, and then it's going to deal 2 damage to me. That's going to take down my shield and 1 more hit point. And that's it for the Sandmen. And so now it's back to the Intercessor's turn, and we'll get Consecrate. And I definitely think I need a shield. Although, you know what? I'm going to get the Courage. I'm actually going to get the Courage. We'll do that. I am going to use Encourage, and that'll cost 1 action. We'll move the Saint down 1 space, and then we'll draw a prayer card. Like I said, I like these prayer cards. All right, another interrupt. Each angel that has been dealt damage this round gains 2 courage. Oh, I almost feel like I should do that now. Yeah, let's use that now. Let's gain the courage, because maybe I'll do something different than what I had planned. Because I can only have 5 max courage here. And so I think I'm going to use Exhort, and then use the Field Medic, spending that 2 courage to heal 1 and draw a prayer card. So that'll bring me back up to 9, and then I get to draw a prayer card, and we have the Bowl of Wrath. Deal 7 damage to demons divided however I choose. That's going to be really useful. Okay, we're looking good there. I think I will use this other card here to gain 2 shield at this point, because I'm about to take some damage. All right, moving on to the Cruel Archers here. So they're going to do Black Arrow. Now this one's too far away, but this one isn't. So it's going to deal 1 damage to me, and that can't be prevented by shield. And then we're going to roll for their action here. Let's see, it's a 1. So they're going to use Ribcage Quiver. And so range 4, move 2. And so this one will move 1, 2, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm 5 spaces away, so he can't shoot, but this one can. It's going to deal 2 damage to me. I'll be able to block that with both of my shields, and then it deals 1 damage to itself. So that was good. And that's going to end the round. Now, I still don't have enough to level up. I need 3 experience. I only have 2, so I can't level up yet. So we're going to move straight on to the darkness phase here. We're going to be adding 1 card, and I actually should have slid these down here. But then we're flipping over 3 cards because we need to add 3 more cards. 1 for the angels and 2 for the pressed saints. So this is where it gets a little hairy here. And let's see, lots of stuff activating. Oh my goodness, this is not good. All right, so the first one here we have is divisiveness. And so this is going to activate. Each angel loses 1 courage. Okay, so 1 courage is gone. And if an angel already has 0, it would be dealt 1 damage instead. Okay. Next one here is test 7. All right, so we're going to test 7. For each revealed talent, well, we didn't have any talents. And so otherwise I would have been dealt 1 damage. All right, then this last one here, it says angels suffer -2 to their book stat while this card is in play. So I cannot use my stab to deal any damage. That's not good. All right, so we're going to refresh our actions here and then make some decisions on what to do. So the Sandman has 6 hit points left. This one has 6, this one has 5. So I need to do a lot of damage. I can do a fair amount of damage here. I could probably kill off 2 guys right now with these 2. Question is, do I want to spend them? So maybe I should do this one here, the Battle Song. That's going to deal 2 damage to each, and if I roll an 8, then I'll deal an extra 1 damage. And so we'll roll here. All right, check that out. Double 4s, that's an 8. All right, so I'm going to deal 3 damage to each of these. So this one becomes 5. This one also becomes 5. And then we add 3 to this one here. There we go. But that did cost me an action, so I do have to keep that in mind. Now I'm going to move 1 space here for my free action, flipping this over because I definitely want to have this available. But I need to kill that Sandman, otherwise that Sandman is going to come and flip this back over. So that means Shield Discus time. So it's a free action for the first time. We're going to deal 3 damage. We, of course, can test to see if we deal more. We do deal more, but he's dead anyways. And so that's going to remove the Sandman from the initiative track. And that's also going to give me 2 more experience, so we will be able to level up at the end of this round. And now the only other action I want to do, I think, is pray. I think that's really the only other action I can do at this point. So we're just going to pray, and we're going to gain a prayer card. Hopefully it'll heal me. Humility of Lions. You and other angels adjacent to you heal 2 damage, gain blessed. Okay, that's really good. Okay, so I'm going to do this after I finish my action here. I have to finish the pray because that's not an interrupt. That would have been nice to do it ahead of time because I'm about to do a test. Remembering that blessed heals you every time you succeed on the test. And so, well, I don't succeed on that test, but I am going to use it right now to heal 2. I think that's a good idea. And that brought me back up to 10. All right, so now we're moving on to the demon's turn. And since the other one was defeated, now the cruel archers move up on the initiative track. So the cruel archers is going to go. And so they're going to deal Black Arrow. So I'll take 1 damage right now, bringing me down to 9. And then we're going to roll for their action. Either way, I'm going to take a lot of damage. Okay, so this one's going to move 1, 2, and then with a range of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, it's in range. It's going to deal 2 damage to me and then 1 damage to itself. So that's going to bring me down to 7. And the other one's going to do the same thing. So I'm going to be brought down to 5. That's not good at all. But they each took 1 damage, so that's not too bad. And that's going to end their turn. We move on to the Intercessor here. And so for the Intercessor, I definitely need some prayer cards. I also want to cast down that darkness card, the one that's blocking me from using my stab. So I think we're going to have to intercede. But we also have consecrate. So let's use consecrate. I think I'm going to gain a courage. And then let's use intercede. No, we'll use encourage first. And then we'll move a saint. And we'll move it 1 space this way. And then we'll draw a prayer card. All right. Uphold the weak. Play on your turn as a free action. Target angel heals 2 damage if that angel has at least 7 damage counters After healing, they also gain 3 shield. And then you may cast down a darkness card. How good is that? Oh my goodness. But I can't use it yet, because if I heal right now, I will only have 6 damage, and that bonus is with 7. So maybe I should wait on using it? I mean, yeah, that's the only way. But now we're going to intercede. And so I need to test 7. And if I test 7, I can cast down a darkness card, and I want to cast down this one here. All right, so here's our roll. Oh, double 5s this time. Very good. All right, so that card gets cast down. And that was the last action for that angel. All right, so now we're moving on to the level up phase. We do have enough experience now to level up, so we're going to bring this down by 3 to level up. And so first, let's do the Intercessor. So we get to draw 2 level 1 talent cards, flip these over, and decide which one we want. So this first one is increased fortitude. So it increases my max health, and when I gain this, I gain a shield. This other one says when I use the exhort action, test 7 on success, reduce the cost of the chosen action by 1 courage. I don't want that, so I'm going to do this one. This one is going to heal me by 2, so it'll bring me up to 7. And now my max health is 15. And so I think I'll go with the talent this time instead of a treasure. And let's see what we get. We get special delivery. Whenever you would draw a prayer card with a prayer action, reveal 2 cards, draw one of the cards into your hand, discard the other. And then the singing gladius here, I already know this one because I've had it before. Stab deals an extra damage, and it can't be prevented by shield. That's the one I want. All right, so now that we're done leveling up, we go into the darkness phase. And so the first thing we need to do is we need to draw new cards. We're drawing a total of 3, 2 for each angel, and only 1 for the saints because there's only 1 oppressed saint. So 1, and then flipping over 2 and 3. A lot of darkness here. Hopefully I won't die right now. All right, so first we have divisiveness again. This is going to remove a courage. Next we got a test 7 on this one here. And this one actually would deal 1 damage to me if I fail that test. So let's see what happens here. Yep, I failed that test, so I'm going to be dealt 1 damage, but this gets removed. That brings me back down to 6. And this one here is test 7 on failure. Deal 1 damage to each angel and add a shadow to each angel's space. Then destroy this card. Oh man. Let's see how this goes. And we have a 6 again. Oh, that's too bad. So this card will end up being destroyed. We'll add a shadow to my space here, and it's this token here. And then I'll take 1 more damage, bringing me back down to 5. All right, last one here. This one activates and then gets removed because it doesn't have the other symbol on it. Each angel is dealt damage equal to their current hammer stat, the green one. Oh my goodness, this is not good. that deals 3 damage to me, bringing me down to 2. Oh, this is not good at all. All right, so we're gonna go to the next round here, and we have to figure a way to heal up a little bit. All right, so first of all, I'm going to use this one here, Uphold the Weak. The angel heals 2 damage. All right, so now I'm 4 out of 14, which means I have 10 damage taken. And it says that if you have at least 7 damage, then after healing, then you gain 3 shield and I may cast down a darkness card. Well, that's really nice. We definitely need that 3 shield. And so I guess it really doesn't matter which of these is going to get cast down because I'm going to kill these demons before we're done with this round. And so then I'm going to use my free action to move over here, 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to use my fist action. It's going to gain me 1 courage. It's not going to gain me any shield. I guess I should have done that card after I did my first stab. Oh well, I didn't get any shield for that. And then I will deal 2 damage, and I'll deal 2 damage to this demon here, killing it. And then I'll use stab again, and that'll give me another courage, dealing 2 damage to this one. Now this did cost both my actions, but I killed both the demons, and then we're going to gain 4 experience there. All right, so at this point, we just stop because we have defeated all the demons in this battle. And so we're going to start staging the final battle. First, we remove all status effects from characters and map tiles. So this one is gone here. Again, status effects are listed on here, boons and afflictions. I think I forgot to give myself blessed earlier. That was my mistake. I probably should have healed more. Sorry about that mistake, but it's to my detriment. We'll still try to meet the challenge here. And then we discard any face down darkness cards, and we remove the saint tokens, but we leave our angel in that place. So don't remove the angel. All right, now for each unused action an angel has remaining, we get to choose the following. We can gain 1 courage, cast down 1 face up darkness card, heal 3 damage, or draw a prayer card. So we have 2 here, and I think the best thing for me, as much as I want prayer cards, I think the best thing for me is just to heal the damage. So I'm going to use both those actions to heal up to 10. All right, so the next thing we get to do is we get a free level up, and you don't spend experience for this, so you get to choose, and I think I'm going to choose Heavenly Treasure this time, and so let's see what I get. We have the Strong Tower, which increases my max health and my sword stat, and then we have the Warden's Guard, which increases my max health and my hammer stat. That's really good. That is actually really good. And when I first gained this, I heal 2 damage. Ooh, that's that's really good. On top of that, the increase in max health is going to heal me the damage. That's going to bring me up to 13 now. And we'll remove these out of the way since we don't need them anymore. And so yeah, I'll put my items here. So that was really good. Now my hammer stat is at 4. That means my shield discus does that much more damage. And then of course the Intercessor also gets to level up, so they'll get their level 2 talent here. And let's see what we have. We have Prayer for Justice that says deal 3 damage to a target demon. Use the skill once per round, or once per round when you are dealt damage from darkness cards, reduce it by 2. I think I like the Prayer for Justice. This is a free action, and I can use it once per round. That, of course, is during the Intercessor's turn. And then we get to spend our experience too on leveling up. I have 5 experience. I can spend 3, bringing it down to 2, and level up again. I think I will go for a Heavenly Treasure again. The last one was really good, and so we'll do another one here. And so we have Death Sting. It says your skills deal 1 bonus damage to targets with an affliction. Or this one, the Flaming Saber. It has a free action of pay 2 courage, gain 1 action. I think I want to increase my hammer stat again. So we'll do that. We'll place it right here. Because again, that brings my shield discus up to a higher level. So now I'm dealing 5 damage, base damage with the shield discus. And of course, the Intercessor is going to level up as well. And this will be the last time the Intercessor gets to level up. So we'll get a skill. And oh my goodness, look, another one. So I can increase it again. When I gain the skill, I gain 2 shield. And that'll bring me up to my max of 5 shield going into this next battle. That is definitely worth it. I don't need the wisdom, I need the discipline, and so we'll gain that one. All right, so we're ready to set up for the demon. And so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to reveal 2 new map tiles, 1 for each angel. However, to save space, what you can do is any unoccupied tiles, you can instead flip those over, and that'll count as 1 revealed tile. So we'll flip this one over here, and then we'll still have to reveal 1 other tile. And so we'll reveal this one right here. And so we're just lining it up with the grid there. Now with these new tiles, we're going to be adding new enemies. So what we're going to do is we're going to first draw our first new enemy, and it's going to be regular demon. And so that's going to go in this one here. And so we have the Sandmen again. Now they're going to be spawning in different spaces than before. And so the Saint goes here and the 2 Sandmen here. And of course we'll need the Sandman card again for that. Then you're going to shuffle up the Prince battles, and you're going to draw 1, and that's going to be the Prince demon that you're going to fight. And so it looks like we're fighting Deva. And of course it tells you on here where Deva goes, and there's going to be a Saint on that tile as well. So we'll put Deva here as the second demon, adding a Saint into, looks like this spot here. And then we add Deva into this spot here. And then you're going to need a Prince deck of Darkness cards. So we have the Deva cards here. There's 5 of them. And so they're going to have stars on them. This one has 1, and the rest of these have 2. And so the lowest ones will go on top, the higher ones underneath. And so in this case here, you're just going to shuffle up the 2s, and then you're going to place the 1 on top. And we'll place it right here. And we'll also need Deva's board here. And then we're going to use the dial here for Deva, and it'll be 21 hit points for Deva. All right, so now our goal is to defeat all the demons, including Deva. Now, Deva is going to have its own darkness cards, and so the first darkness card you draw for each round is going to be one of Deva's cards, and then you'll draw darkness cards for the rest of them. And of course, this is the first round of the new battle, so we're only going to draw 1. Now, the Deva's cards always come face up automatically. And then we'll draw 1 extra darkness card for the other angel. And we won't draw for the oppressed saints for this first round. Now, one thing to note on these cards here is they have Stronghold on them. And so Stronghold means you can't cast them down. So they always remain in play. And so this one's going to activate every round. And this one says, Deva cannot be reduced below 1 health if any other demons are in play. When this card activates, remove all damage counters from Deva. So Deva, unfortunately, needs to be killed in 1 round. And that's after we've killed the other demons. So it's going to be a little difficult to get to the other demons and kill them, and then go to Deva and do at least 21 damage in one round. We're going to have to save up some prayer cards and stuff like that to do that. And I do want to remind you that Deva has 2 actions, so you'll be rolling 1 die for each of those actions, as well as it has 2 lightning bolt actions. All right, so we're ready for this now. And so I think for the first turn, I'm going to use the Intercessor. The Intercessor is going to do Consecrate. That'll give me 1 courage for the Angel. And then I think we're going to start drawing, drawing some prayer cards, because I think that's what we need to do. And since the Sandmen like to move towards saints, I think I'm going to move this saint token towards me. 1 and 2, because we're going to do the Encourage twice. And that means we're going to gain 2 prayer cards. And hopefully something good. We have Mighty Throw, move an adjacent demon up to 3 spaces. Afterward, that demon and each other demon adjacent to that target is dealt 2 damage. That's not bad. And then Shield Slam, move up to 3 spaces, gain 3 shield, then deal damage equal to your highest single stat. Ooh, that is really good because my hammer is really high right now. So there we go. We got some good cards. But that is actually going to end the round for the Intercessor. That was it. And so now we move on to the Demon's turn. It's the Sandmen. They're going to move adjacent to the Saint. So this one goes 1, 2 right there. And this one can move to either this one or this one. And we'll move it into this space here. And then we have to roll a die for the Sandmen. And let's see, it's a 3. And so they're going to use Sleepwalker. And they're going to target the demons with the lowest health. And they'll be targeting each other because they both have the lowest health. And so instead, they're going to be doing Time Freeze. So they're going to engage the demon with the highest health, moving adjacent to them. So this one will move here and deal 3 damage. Then this one will move there and deal 3 damage. That is really unfortunate. That takes down my entire shield and brings me down by 1. That was 6 damage total. And that's going to end their turn. So it's now my turn. And so I am going to use Mighty Throw, so I get to move an adjacent demon. So we'll move this one here. And then both of these demons are going to take 2 damage. So that was really useful, and that was a free action. So 2 damage each here. And with that, and my hammer stat being 6 right now, I can use my discus to destroy one of these. And so I guess I'll destroy number 2. Yeah, let's do that. I'll destroy number 2. So I'm going to throw my discus. It costs 2 courage. Of course, I could roll for extra damage, but it doesn't matter. That demon is dead. I forget which one I picked. So I think I'll go with this one here. Yeah. All right, so that's going to give me 2 experience. Now, I still have actions left. And so what I can do right now is I can do Stab. And so I'll use 1 action. That'll gain me 1 courage. I'll do 2 damage now because my upgraded Stab will do 2 damage to this one. And so that's going to bring it up to 4. And then I'll use my other action to use Discus again, and that'll cost me my 2 courage, and then we'll hit it with more than enough damage to kill it. Wow, that was actually really good, because that's going to set me up with this battle with Deva. And so I gained 2 more experience there, and the Sandman is now dead, and so Deva moves up on the initiative track. But my last action I'm going to do, I still have a free flight, and I'm going to move into this adjacent space here. All right, so now we move on to Deva's turn. So first, Deva gains 1 shield per angel on the battlefield. And so as I interpret that, the Intercessor still counts. And so Deva's going to take 2 shields, and then it's going to deal 1 damage per shield on Deva, divided however players choose. But of course, I only have 1 angel, so it's going to bring me down to 10. And then it's going to get 2 actions. So the first action is going to be a 6. And then the second action is going to be a 6. Oh no. So Stormbringer twice. All right. Range Infinity. Each angel is dealt 2 damage. I guess that wasn't so bad. So I get dealt 4 damage total, bringing me down to 6. All right, so that's going to end the round. And so now I'm going to spend some experience. I can level up twice. I'm going to spend 6 experience to level up twice. And so the first thing I'm going to do is get a new talent, because I think I should. And let's see what I get. I have Prayer Warrior and Prayer of the Saints. So Prayer of the Saints, at any time I may discard a number of prayer cards, add 1 to the test for each card discarded this way. I don't like that one at all. And then Prayer Warrior, whenever you use a prayer card, you may deal 1 damage to a demon. That one's much better. I plan on using a lot of prayer cards. And then for my next one, I think I'll go with Heavenly Treasure. I think that's a better idea. And so let's see what we get here. They both give me the hammer stat, which is really good. And they both give me max health, this one more. But this one lets me cast down a darkness card. And so I can cast down that one there. And I think that might be a good idea. So I'm going to gain the gloves. That'll increase my health by 1. And yeah, that'll cast down the darkness card. I think that was a better bet. And on top of that, that puts my stat at 7 now. My hammer stat is huge. And so we're ready to take on this demon. I do need some courage though. I'm out of courage, so I need to work up some courage. All right, so now we're moving on to the darkness. And so the first card we're going to draw, we're going to end up drawing 4 cards, but the first one is David's card. We'll place it right there. And then we're going to draw 3 other cards, and that is just not good. But at least no others got flipped over. All right, so the first one activates. David's going to heal damage. David didn't take any damage, so there's that. And then this one here, Cold Front. David uses Ball Lightning. Afterward, move David's battle card to the front of the initiative track. Well, David's already there, so this will get discarded. But Ball Lightning says David engages with the angel with the highest health and deals 4 damage. Oh, that brings me down to 3. Not good at all. And so now we're going to bring the actions back up, and then I have to figure out how to do enough damage. I'm wondering if I should just do an Intercessor first. Yeah, I'll do Intercessor first, and that's going to gain me, I really need the shield, but I feel like I should use this instead, gaining the courage. Such a tough choice. Maybe I'll go with the shield. We're hoping to survive. Well, I do have my resurrect, so maybe I'll get the courage instead. And then I need to use one of these actions, I think. So we'll use Bowl of Wrath, deal 7 damage to demons. However, I choose to do it. Of course, there's only 1 demon, and so that's going to deal 7, but with my Prayer Warrior, that upgrades it. So it'll actually be 8 damage. And so that's going to bring it all the way down to 13. Oh, it looks like I forgot to block with this damage here. So we have to take 2 of that off, and that brings it back up to 15. That was not good. But that did cost us an action, and then we're going to spend 1 more action to do Stab. Stab will do 2 damage, bringing it down to 13. And then I will gain 1 courage and 1 shield because I had 0 shield when I used the stab. All right, so the Intercessor's done. So we move on to Deva, and we're hoping not to die. All right, so Deva first is going to gain shields and then deal damage to me based on that. And so I'm going to take 1 damage to my shield and 1 more here. That brings me down to 2. There's no way I'm going to survive this. And so we're going to do the actions for Deva. And so the first one is a 5, second one is a 1. The 5 deals 2 damage to me, and so it brings me down to 0, and that's going to kill me. But then I have Walking in Faith, and that can bring me back to life. It brings me back to the Heavens board here and gives me 1 life and 1 shield, but it's not going to be enough to save me because we activate the second action here, Storm Chaser, and that's going to have Deva move right adjacent to me and then deal 3 damage to me. And that's going to kill me off completely. Unfortunately, this time, the forces of darkness have succeeded over the forces of good and light. Oh, that's too bad. I got so close. I really could have taken David down in the next turn because I had enough courage to do the shield discus, and then I could do the shield slam, and that would have done more than enough damage to defeat Deva. Just 1 turn away. And so there you have it. That was the tutorial and solo playthrough of Deliverance by Andrew Lowen and Lowen Games. Do bear in mind this is a review copy provided by the publisher. I do very much enjoy this game though. I've had a lot of fun with this game. There are a lot of different demons. There are a lot of different angels. They all do different things. I love the prayer cards. The heavenly treasure cards are powerful. All those things are powerful. They make you feel like you're leveling up and doing more damage and doing more things. You can see I dispatched those other demons rather easily. But the Prince Demons themselves are very challenging, very difficult, and this one in particular was just a tad bit stronger than me. But let me know in the comments below what you think of this game and what you thought of this playthrough. Please also point out any rules errors I may have made. Please also like and subscribe to this channel if you like the content you see here. And I thank all my Patreons for their support of this channel, and I thank you very much for watching me on Tabletop for One. Have a great night.